everyone. My name is Adelina, and I wanted to introduce myself as the first vlog post on YouTube in the YouTube sphere. I've never done anything like this before, so I just wanted to put something out there so that you guys can learn a little bit more about me and why I'm doing this. I'm here in my secret garden, my mother's secret garden, and we're in an urban suburban city. There is a lot of noise pollution, so if you hear someone sawing in the background, I'm sorry, I'll try to speak up. Um, so, a little bit about me, or my story rather. I always like to start with I'm a community college success story. When I first, I was never really a student. I'm a student of life for sure, but I was never really a true academic in that sense. Uh, I barely passed high school. I struggled with it a lot because I struggled with a lot when I was in high school, like kind of in my head about life, the usual. And when I went to college, right out of high school, I went for interior design because I'm an artist by nature. I'm just very creative. I paint. I haven't painted in a while, but I do paint. I'm into arts and crafts and creativity and all sorts of anything that has to do with like visualizing and bringing something to life. I I failed out of college a year and a half in. It was not for me. I was not in the right place. So I decided to start working in the spa industry. And then I decided to go into aesthetics. So I got my aesthetics license. My sister was an esthetician at the time. And I started working at the spa. And I really liked it. I liked the Zen atmosphere. I'm very like about that mellow energy and things like that. Even though I'm very high intense energy, I can be very in depth, like crazy. I'm crazy. And so I decided to get into the spa industry, and I loved it. Once I decided to do that, and once I was practicing a little bit, I decided to go back to school, which was at about 23 years old. Best decision I ever made for myself. I am the first person in my family to graduate from college, so I'm first generation, which is an accomplishment in itself. Even, it's huge. My parents came to this country and sacrificed everything for my sisters and I, and that I wouldn't be able to be doing this, dropping everything and, you know, going off to chase my dream if they didn't come here. So I'm grateful for them for that. So I went to community college for 3 years. I got my associates. Then I graduated. I transferred to a four-year university. Then I graduated the university about 2 years ago, and I started working in the travel industry, which I never thought to do because I've always had a passion for travel, and I never thought to combine, the start of my career with a passion that I have, and that's so, second nature to me. But I did, and I'm so happy that I did because now I know I do want to stay in tourism and travel industry because it's where I belong. It's where I feel best because what they say is love what you do. You don't have to work a day in your life. I believe in that philosophy, and but I didn't love my role. I was in customer service, then I transitioned to sales, and the company itself was really good. Never really been into corporate companies, and this actually was a private company, but they kind of ran like they were corporate, which kills my soul because I hate corporate America and corporate anything. You'll definitely get a vibe of that. I'm very much into supporting local small businesses and things like that. If I can avoid it, I will not purchase any name like big name brand, oligarchy company. So that's that. But it was killing. It was still killing my vibe, and I was looking at roles within the company. The role that I was in made it really challenging to move up, and even when I was looking at other, companies and their roles, like it's just, I just don't think that for what I know I'm capable of doing or know what I want to do, I just, I know my worth, and I'm not going to settle for anything less, and I never wanted to, and I never will. So I decided to do this, and I decided to quit my job. I'm creating all my social media platforms, and I booked a ticket to Lisbon, Portugal, and this is where it's all going to start. I really don't know where it's going to take me, maybe I'll fail miserably and I'll come back in a month and then I'll just take it for what it is and I'll take what I learned from it and then apply it to my next role or my next whatever I decide to do with myself. Maybe I'll be really successful. I don't know. But this really just started because about I had a really rough few years, rough 5, 7, 3 years. But about 4 months ago, I finally started getting back into a place where I felt really centered with myself, which was very huge. It's very huge. And slowly after I started getting centered, all of a sudden these kinds of things started happening, just like how they used to when I was younger. Kind of like everything happens for a reason. Things are kind of, life just happens sometimes when you're really present. And if you can really get yourself to really believe in just the beauty in life, and if you can really get yourself to like get out of your head, and if you can really get yourself to really believe in the good rather than focusing on the bad in your mind, then a lot of beautiful things can really manifest. And I believe that. I truly believe it. It's really, really hard to get to that place in life, and I'm not even saying that I'm there and I'm entirely awakened, but I'm at the tip of the iceberg again, and I want to hold on to it. And so what's funny is I had a trip planned for Cuba in September, and the last time I went away was in November. I went to Iceland. It was great, and I'll definitely be back. Don't really want to say get into it, but stuff conspired, and all of a sudden, without having the plans for it, I booked myself a flight to Frankfurt, Germany for like 3 weeks before I was going to go. Never done anything like that before, like 3 weeks, like so close to before my departure. But it just happened. Life just happened. I rolled with it and it happened. And when I went there, I was challenged mentally a lot. Uh, Even though people can't necessarily see it because I hide that really well. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people hide their darkness really well. But it reminded me, after being really, okay and centered for a little bit again, and I thought I was like, gravy, but I wasn't. And it proved to me that I wasn't. But I had an amazing time. I had an absolutely amazing time, and I learned a lot about myself in the days that I was like off exploring on my own, and like every day I was up and I was somewhere new. Like Heidelberg was the best. Heidelberg I loved, and I'm gonna go back because I'm gonna go on the Philosopher Ways walk hike thing, um, and I'm definitely gonna spend like a few nights there in Heidelberg because it was gorgeous, like romantic little cute. Oh my god, cute little town. Um, I got on a plane, came back, and the the weird part was is that I've been many places. I studied abroad in India for 3 months, and that country, I mean, those sensory overloads, so many different things going on in your mind. You think of so many different things, like, you know, really makes you think about life. Um, but from all of the trips that I have taken, I have never been so reflective in a way that I still can't really explain. I can't really explain it. I remember having like a furrowed. I remember just I don't even know what I was really even thinking about, but my brows were just like furrowed, like. And I grabbed my bag, my luggage, my one luggage, and I went to the cab, and I was driving back through my city on my way home. And when I was looking out the window, I felt. I don't want to say I felt out of place because I did. This is my home. This is always going to be my home. But I'm so sorry about that noise. 1 second. Intermission. So I didn't feel out of place, but I felt different. And I don't know if it's because of where I've always wanted to see my life go. And, when I was in Germany, I kind of talked about that. Uh, like, where, how I've always wanted to move. How I've always just wanted to move, really. And I don't necessarily want to get up and move right now, but I guess this is kind of moving in a way. Oh my god, it's not stopping. I'm so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So I came back, and my first couple of weeks I was just so in my head in a way that I hadn't been in a while, in a way that was so unnecessary, and in a way that was like I never used to be that way. I never used to think the kind of things that I think of now are a result of a certain experience that I had, 3, 4 years ago. And but when I was younger and this spirited being and like this YOLO, I don't give a F, I never I never worried about the kinds of things that I worry about. And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of it. And so that's what made me decide to do this. And so, hardest part was telling my family, um, because you know, society and family, they just want you to, you have to fit into the perfect path, right? You go to school, you graduate high school, you go into college, you meet someone, you get married, you have your 2.5 children, and oh, don't forget, you have to buy a house before you have your 2.5 children. And then you go on with your life. You work 9 to 5, rat race for the rest of your life, save for your retirement, and that's it. And I never saw myself in that way, or it's like, not that I didn't see myself in that way, but not in that order necessarily. I hope I'm not rambling too much, but it is what it is. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna grow with this and with you. So I really want to fight all this darkness. I don't have darkness, but like I want to like I know every single person has a challenge out there, whether it's with anxiety, whether it's with depression, whether it's because you're a survivor, of physical abuse, sexual abuse, whether you have an eating disorder, whether you have, or you just give yourself, panicked anxiety, anything, any possible thing, you just put pressure on yourself. You don't ever really let yourself live. You live your life off of what other people tell you. The list could go on and on as to what your specific reason is, or what your specific thing is that is stopping you from growing and evolving as a person, and what's holding you back from really chasing your dreams and really believing in yourself. And I'm here to let you know that you're not the only one that struggles through that. And so you can wake up, you can, grow as a person. And I want to share my growing process with everyone. And I hope that you guys can grow with me. So if you feel compelled, I know this is almost 13 minutes long. Again, I'm going to do my best to be really short with these, or to really make sure I'm not going to be rambling on, but this is all new to me and I'm going to be learning, and maybe again I'm going to be failing miserably. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback. So I'll gladly take feedback, and I'll gladly be here for you if you need me. So if you need a positive ear, if you need someone to tell you to shut up and believe in yourself, or if you need someone to believe in you, let me be that person, because I would love to believe in you, because I think that whoever you are and whatever your story is and whatever struggles that you've been through, um, you're so much more. You are so much more. We are so much more. Where did it go? Peace, guys.